What's good, cubers? It's your boy Matt, and it's time for another video. There's so many new cubes being posted on the forums and on CubeTutor, and they're all asking for feedback and help, and all this is great for our format. But I'm noticing that a lot of new cubers are just making the same mistakes. And so I've made a video, shout out to all the new guys, this one's for you, 5 tips for new cubers and 1 honorable mention right here. And the honorable mention tip is start with 360 cards. Please start with 360 cards. I see so many new cubes and they're trying to build 720 card cubes out the gate. It is way easier to make your cube larger over time than it is to make it smaller. And starting small, especially if you're a beginner, will let you make your archetypes more concise. That's our honorable mention tip, and all of my tips throughout the rest of this video are going to be based on the assumption that you're building a 360 card cube. So let's get to tip number 1, and it might be one of the most important, and that is support aggro. Aggro is so important to any environment. Standard is healthy when aggro can be a thing. You don't want mid-range and dirtily decks taking over your cube. And I know a lot of cubers feel like they're supporting aggro. Look, I've got 3 red 1-drops. No, okay, no. If you're in 360 cards, you need 7 red 1-drops, 7 white 1-drops. Support aggro. I promise you it will make your cube environment a much more dynamic place. But let's not stop here. Let's keep going and let's talk about a mistake that I was guilty of when I built my first cube, and that is too many multicolored cards. I'm a huge fan of gold cards, not because they're great for cube all the time, but just because I like them. But new cubers start out with just too many gold cards. 6, 7. I saw a cube the other day with 8 gold cards in each guild. Less is more when it comes to gold cards, especially when you're building your cube for the first time, because you don't have the optimal cards in each color anyway. So trying to make the guilds really large in the beginning just means you have more jank in your cube, and cube is a jank-free format, boys and girls. No jank. So go easy on the gold cards. Keep them down to 3 to 5 at the most in the beginning. Just ease up on them. Less is more, I promise. All right, let's keep going. Now remember, we're talking about a cube at 360 cards for this next one, and so here's the deal. I know it's a little controversial, but if I were you, I wouldn't play a full set of signets or talismans. If you're in a cube that's 360 cards and you're playing a full set of signets or talismans, that's 10 cards, and you're probably only running 35 to 40 artifacts, which means anywhere from 1/3 to 25% of your artifact section is signets. That's a lot. I strongly encourage you just ease up on the signets. It makes the mana too clean for the dirtily decks, and what you're gonna find happens is the control decks will gobble up signets that aren't in their color just to use them as ramp, and it kind of hurts aggro a little bit. So I encourage you not to play the signets or the talismans at 360, or not to play all of them, and instead play just good generic mana rocks. Mana Vault, Mind Stone, even Felwar Stone, which isn't great, but it is essentially another Mind Stone. It just can't draw a card. Generic mana rocks are really solid in small cubes. You could play Darksteel Ingot, Coldstone Heart, Soul Ring, just good solid generic mana rocks, because most people, when they include the signets, include these guys as well, and so now their artifact section is 20 different ramp spells. It's too much help for the control decks. On a side note, I do want to point out that Ultimate Masters has been a minute now, and the Commander players are gobbling up Mana Vault, so if you want one, now is your moment, boys and girls. That card is only going to get more expensive until it gets reprinted. Right now, the 4th edition is at 20 bucks, and the Ultimate Masters version is at 30. Just saying, keep an eye on Mana Vault and scoop one if you want one. But let's keep going. More tips for new cubers. Let's talk about balance. No, not you. Go away, balance. Go away. When I say balance, what I mean is balance in your colors. I see a lot of new cubers and they'll have 56 black cards and 35 blue cards and 25 red cards. And guys, as a hard rule for new cubers, all your monocolored sections need to have the exact same number of cards. And I can hear some veteran cubers in the background going, well, I can be plus or minus 1 card and it's fine. And you can, but we're not talking to you, so sit down and shut up. New cubers, exactly the same number of monocolored cards in each color. Talking to you, yes, I know you're not a veteran cuber, be quiet, all right? Same number of colors, same number of cards in each color. It forces you to make some hard decisions. I know what's happening. You're sitting there and you're going, but I really like this card. It's good. I want to include it. You know what? Cube is a format where you have to make some ruthless cuts. You're going to have to cut some pet cards. You can't just keep them all. If you have 10 more black cards than you have red cards, what's going to happen is that black is now an easier color to draft than red, so more players will be rewarded for drafting black, and your players will naturally gravitate into that larger color. You need to keep the colors balanced so that the player playing red in that example isn't crushed if someone tries to splash his color because he doesn't have enough cards to begin with. Moving on though, our last tip, final tip of the day, new cubers, and that is over support your archetypes. In the beginning, you're not going to be quite sure how many cards you need to make Blink work, how many cards you need to make Reanimator work, how many cards you need to make tokens work. So in the beginning, over support your archetypes so that you can make sure that those decks get played. That's a part of playtesting. And after you have several drafts under your belt, then you can say, okay, these are the best Blink cards. I can maybe tweak these others, or the Blink deck is over supported. We've got 2 or 3 of them at the draft table. I can dial back on some of these archetype cards and let some other decks into the cube. Well, that's going to do it for today. Hope this helped you out, new cubers. 5 solid tips, 1 honorable mention. Be sure to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Lets us know what you like. Check us out on the Twitter at Cube4Two. Let us know if there are cards you want us to cover for Card of the Week or topics that you want us to cover here. And as always, and until next time, shuffle up and keep cubing, my friends.